1 week later, we have tons of frost and the temperatures are really dipping. This is the second episode on how to build your ODR. So what I decided to do was, rather than set these posts in my existing rink, my current place, I decided to put it on a fresh piece of grass here. So you know, if you're just starting out, if you've never done it before, this should help you. So what you want to do is get 4 stakes, a foot long stake. Mine are larger just because that's all I had kicking around. It doesn't really matter. You can use scrap wood, whatever you've got. Make sure they're about 12 inches long, and you drive 1 stake in each corner of your rink. So once you know the size of your rink, so your stakes don't have to go in very far, just a couple inches, just so that they don't tip over while you're pulling on the string. So I like to go approximately 6 to 8 inches up. Probably 6 inches is probably fine. Some people go down to 4, but that's basically how thick your ice is going to be at its lowest point. So that's what you're establishing here. So I'm going to probably go up to about 6 inches to start. Tie off my string, and I'll run this now to my next post. Okay, now what we want to do is hook on our line level. This is what they look like. Again, pretty straightforward. They have a hook on each end, and they just hook right on your line. And just like so. Pretty straightforward. Again, I got this at a local hardware store, home hardware here in town, and they retail for about $6. All right, so now let's check our line level to make sure it's level. Where's the bubble? There we go. Beautiful. Let me zoom in there, get a little crisper image there. So our line is level. That's what we want. Now in that example I just showed you, I'm not only level, but I also don't have a slope. So I'm about, say, 7 inches, for sake of argument, from one end to the other. So the space from the grass to my line, my string, is the same thickness all the way along. That's not always the case though. A lot of times you're going to be working against the slope. When you run that string from stake to stake, and then you get down and look, you'll see if your ice is going to be thinner on one end and maybe thicker at the other. So at the end of your slope, if that's what you're facing, you're going to have a lot more water and a lot more ice. And if that's the case, then you're going to have to build, reinforce that deeper part of your rink where you've got more water. You'll have to consider reinforcing your boards. Here's a basic illustration of what I'm talking about when you could be working against a slope. So I hope that example makes sense. You want to run a string to each stake, all 4 corners, and on a diagonal. You're going to get some high points maybe. I've had that problem on this one. So you want to get down on your stomach and look at your line running through a diagonal as well, and to see if you've got any high points, because those high points are going to be a real pain. You're going to want to shave off maybe some of that earth. That's something you want to pay attention to. So this is a real good example. So here's my string tied off. I'm more than 6 inches there. I'm a little bit more, just because that's from last year, and I like that thickness of ice. But here's what's happened. So you've seen how much earth that I have to remove. And as I get further down to my next stake, I remove less and less as I get down to my second stake. And you can see here, there's my second stake, and that'll tell you just how thick my ice is going to be. So it's the same thickness. I'm at about 7 to 8 inches there, all the way down. But here you'll notice no earth had to be removed. Had to be removed down at the other end. But now I got a nice level surface. I had to remove quite a bit. I had to remove about 6 to 8 inches of earth at the one end. I didn't have to do it at the other. And obviously, if you do have to remove earth from your yard, obviously, you know, you have to call before you dig. So now I got to do the same exercise from here down to there, and I've already started. You can see I've had to remove some earth, and what I'll do is I'll pull it back because I'm just a bit too high, because as I go down to here, my ice gets thicker and thicker and thicker. So here is where I want to just taper back and remove some of that, just to get a nice consistent thickness of ice is what I'm going for. Oh, my fire, it's out. Gotta go stoke the fire. All right, we got the fire stoked again, so that's good. And I'll have to take some wood now from my wood pile, put it in the shed, let it dry for the next couple of months, so that we've got some nice dry wood for when we're out here skating. So this will be great. Getting smoked out here. Gonna have to put some more fresh wood in, but before I do that, I just want to show you I've got my 4 posts in. So now I've got all my markers. So now I'm down at the long end. So this is the 50 foot mark, and that's where I started. I come down to here, and then right to there. You can just see my post, and then all the way to that far post. So we got 50, got 28. I'm just doing a little shave there, bringing that back. Took some of that fill, put it here, because this is my lowest point. This is where I get the most ice. And so I'm just raising that up a little bit. I've got a little high point there, got to remove a bit of the sod, but I think this is going to be a big improvement from last year. Now, what some people will do is they'll try to find other things to fill in their lowest spot. So here's my slope, right? My slope starts from here and it runs down to here. So this here was very thin ice, and as it went down, it got thicker and thicker and thicker, and it really was quite deep here in my first year. So I've added some earth there. You know, I've heard other ideas of bags of mulch or skids, you know, plywood. You gotta be creative how you build up that lowest spot, the spot where you get the most water and the most ice. Now I'm gonna bring out the heavy artillery. I'm gonna take my tractor and pack down some of that loose dirt that I put at the end. Yeah, I added that just for fun a few years ago. Took the tractor, as you saw there, got it all packed down. I'm feeling really good about things. Now, I think I need to mark each of the 4 corners of my rink with an original 6 goalie. My first corner is going to be Felix Potvin. Next to him we have Bill Ranford, then of course we have Jocelyn Thibault, and then Eddie Belfour. Now we have in the back here Damien Rhodes, big fan when he was in Ottawa. And because I live in the nation's capital, I think he should be represented in some way. So we'll find a way to incorporate Damien Rhodes into the rink as well. And you know what? While I'm doing this, I might as well talk about some other goalies and just their style of play, the gear they wore. Maybe that will make for some more interesting content, because by now maybe some of you are falling asleep by watching this. Anyway, I hope that's not the case. I hope you found this useful. Next up, episode 3, I will be getting my boards out, and I'll show you the way I've built my boards, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe. Next episode's going to be coming up in about a week and a half. Take care.